mom and dad, because it's not easy being a parent today. We are up against a whole lot. I'm not going to single out a mother and blame her for her son going wayward. I'm not going to blame a sister for her son going wayward. Guess who I'm going to blame? All the black men in the neighborhood who saw him growing up and chose not to spend any time with him. There's nothing normal about an African woman trying to make a man out of an African boy. You can't do it. It takes men to help you. So I don't blame single parents who are doing the best they can. I don't blame married parents who are doing the best they can. I blame the whole community. So what is keeping us from getting a little bit further than where we are? Self-hatred. Black people love to fight each other. You know what I am talking about. Marcus Garvey said we are cursed with petty differences. He said if we don't have a reason to fight, we will find one. You're from America. I'm from the UK. You're light-skinned. I'm dark-skinned. You're educated. I'm not. You've been to jail. I haven't. You live in the suburbs. I live in the hood. You Muslim. I'm Christian. You speak Spanish. I speak English. What the hell difference does it make? Because when a white man looks out at us, all he sees is Africans, and it doesn't matter how long you've been here. You want to convince yourself that you're a citizen of the UK? You keep on. We want to convince ourselves that we're citizens of the United States? You keep on. You are only a citizen under 3 conditions. 3. Time for taxes, time for war, and time for low-wage work when they run out of workers. That's the only time you are a citizen. No other time are you regarded as such, and during the Olympics. Because if you looked at the Olympics, you would think Britain was all black. You would think the United States was all black. They use the black athletes to sell the country, you understand? But they don't use us to sell no jobs. So we got to change. Marcus Garvey gave us the largest mass organization in world history before there was a television. A 15 million member organization before there was the internet. How could a man do that in 1914 with nothing of what we had? Now we got cell phones, we got internet, we got all kinds of stuff, and look at black people. Wherever you go, we messed up. I done been everywhere. Caribbean, Europe, Africa, everywhere. And we are messed up wherever I go. That's right. Every black neighborhood is exactly the same. Exactly the same. And then what makes it even worse is that the European social order has done what? They have created a certain group of well-trained black people who sit between them and the rest of us. Some of our scholars, some of our politicians, some of our religious leaders, some of our financially elite blacks, some of us who are in strategic positions, and they use this buffer layer, the icing on the cake, to keep the cake in order. So whenever something goes wrong and you want to stand up and organize and bring some justice, they send a Negro in to quiet you down. Hello, my name is Umar Johnson. I'm the elected representative for West Bromwich. I don't want y'all to get all upset. Calm down. They're working on it. All you got to do is vote. And you go back home, believing in the Negro elite. The Negro elite is our second biggest problem after white supremacy. And our third problem is self-hatred. Self-hatred. So we got to get over that, people. For example, in our religions, and nothing wrong with our religions. My great-great-grandfather was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Frederick Douglass, the abolitionist from America, who helped fight to end slavery. That happens to be an ancestor of mine. His brother, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, started the Bethel Union AME Church. I come from pastors, all in my family. But I do got a problem with the white Christ picture that some of us have in our homes. Why do I have a problem with the white Christ picture? Because Jesus Christ was not a white man. Jesus Christ was an African. You don't get a white picture of Jesus Christ until when, Elvis? 1482. Who painted it? Leonardo da Vinci. Who did he paint it for? The Roman Catholic Church. If you don't believe me, go to the library tomorrow and check out a book on Christian art history and look at the history of the Last Supper. It is the first time in world history that your enemy became your deity. Leonardo da Vinci got his uncle to pose as Jesus Christ, and he went to a local jail and got 12 criminals to pose as the 12 disciples. If you don't believe me, go So I know I'm preaching to the choir, because I know nobody here got a white Jesus at home. If you do, you're going to go home and burn it and put a black one in its place, because you cannot pray to the image of your enemy and expect freedom. Nobody prays to a God that don't look like them except slave people. Go to China, you won't find a black guy. Go to the Italians, they don't pray to an Irish. Go to the Arabs, they don't pray to an Asian. So why do we find black people in 2012 still worshiping their God in the image of their enemy? Stop that nonsense. 12 disciples, 12 pedophiles. And we wonder why our prayers don't get answered. Because you are disrespecting his holiness, the supreme consciousness of the universe, infinite, invisible, by manifesting him in the image of a European. How dare you do that? So you say, how do we know Christ was African? Well, let's look at the history. Every picture, every statue, every painting of the Christ was blue, black, purple up until 1482. Find me a Christ that was not blue, black, purple until 1482. You could go to the Cairo Museum in Egypt. They have the oldest picture of Jesus and the 12 disciples. He is blue, black, purple. You can go to the National Museum in Ethiopia, blue, black, purple. Some of the museums here in Europe, in America, every picture, every coin, Christ was African. His mother Mary was from the tribe of Judah, the blackest of all of the 12. That's a historical fact. He hid as a child in Egypt. Egypt means land of the birth-faced people. How the hell can a white, blue-eyed, blonde-haired boy hide in a blue, black, purple country? Come on, black folks. Your color, your race is just as divine as your religion. We got to put them back together. The European made us separate pride and race from pride and God. Everybody else puts them. Look at the Jew. The Jew is proud to be a Jew, and he's proud of his relationship with God. Everybody is but us. They made us feel that you got to separate your race from your religion. Your race is your mother. Your religion is your father. You wouldn't separate your parents, so why are you separating your African culture from your African divinity? They are one and the same. We must organize. Organize. Economically, we must organize. Agriculturally, we are organizing. Don't you know that most of the food you eat isn't even food anymore, black people? You go to the store, you get a carton of milk. Do you know that the milk you're drinking might come from a cloned cow? And that you can legally sell meat from cloned animals, and you don't even have to say it no more. So you drink your milk saying, this tastes good. And you're drinking milk that was made from an animal that was made in the lab. This is what's happening right now. In Africa, they force all the African nations to do what? Buy buy seed crop from these white corporations like Monsanto. Do your research on Monsanto. They're buying up all the natural seeds to fruits and vegetables, and they say you have to buy these man-made seeds, and once you plant the GMO, it only grows once, and it destroys the soil's ability to reproduce another crop. So the white man is using food as a weapon, and they're telling you that there ain't enough food to feed our brothers and sisters in Africa, there ain't enough food to feed starving black people here in the UK, when we know what? There's enough food manufactured on earth every year for every person on earth, all 6.5 billion, to be obese. Food ain't the problem. Withholding the food from the people who need it is the problem. Understand something. The European believes he's God. The white man thinks he's God. And because he thinks he's God, he thinks he's had a right to choose who lives or dies. That's why police brutality is the way it is. That's why they bring guns into your community.